Okay, Dr. Ranganathan.
Yes, good evening, Rahul, and good evening to all my fellow panelists. I've been waiting very patiently for my turn, so I request the courtesy of a couple of minutes. First of all, Rahul, I'll be very careful if I were you to mute the Shiv Sena spokesperson, unless you want to have a haircut and it's been a month since you had one. But, this is the moment in the political steeplechase when hypocrisy looks over her shoulder and sees duplicity fast catching up. By the way, that was a terrific initial expose of the Congress and Tehseen. On another lighter note, you seem to be saying you're not waiting for Friday. मतलब Monday को ही काम तमाम कर दिया. You seem to be saying कि गोली नहीं मारूंगा Tehseen को, and finish the sentence. But briefly, three issues here: sedition, Sena, and secularism. And let me delve into them briefly one by one. On the matter of sedition, Rahul, it is crazy, absolutely crazy that this charge has been slapped on the legislator couple. It sickens me that governments of all political parties use the draconian sedition law in instances that are clearly not seditious. I said use and not misuse because the law itself is draconian, overarching, and deliberately kept grey so that acts you would logically consider non-seditious can also be included. You can only misuse a just and conscientious law, not a draconian one that you can only use. Now let me quote from the Maharashtra government affidavit before the court. Quote, the couple have been charged with sedition for the hate and dislike they invoked against the Chief Minister and Maharashtra government, unquote. Really? But it sickens me when BJP in Gujarat uses it to arrest a journalist who criticized the CM's handling of COVID. It sickens me when Congress in Chhattisgarh uses it to arrest a man who complained of power cut. It sickens me when 10,000 people are charged with sedition under the NDA and 12,000 people are charged with sedition under the UPA, including 8,000 people in a single day. But you know what sickens me most, Rahul? These gangrenous selectivists who claim they speak truth to power, but power to them is always Modi, even when such draconian acts happen in non-BJP ruled states. Number two, Sena. Now, Sena talking about law and order is like Congress talking about honesty and scam-free governance. From blackening faces of authors to giving haircuts to opponents to arresting dozens for expressing their views to asking for a ban on transmission of TV channels to bulldozing buildings of those they have disagreements with to gloating that, quote, if Lokshahi doesn't work, we have to opt for Thokshahi. This is a state gone rogue, Rahul. You are left thinking, what is more vague, the action of the state or the laws it is using to act on you? Finally, Rahul, very briefly, secularism. Sadly, secularism for us is when there is no deity except Allah and no one has the right to be worshipped but Him. Amplified through a loudspeaker 5 times a day all year round is creating enmity. But peacefully chanting Hanuman Chalisa while not denigrating anyone's religion or God is creating enmity. Secularism is when reciting polytheists are the worst of creatures near a temple is not provocative, but reciting Bhajaman Ramcharan Sukhdai one day in a year near a mosque is. Secularism is controlling and taxing only temples but not mosques. Secularism is respecting the Supreme Court Sabrimala judgment but overturning the Supreme Court Shah Banu judgment. For how long will we pretend that we are not practicing secularism but rather appeasement? Rahul, just 5 seconds. As I keep saying, we were a banana republic from the day we became a republic.
Well, let me ask the NCP spokesperson, how does